What is up, guys? Yoda here, back with another Elden Ring video. Today we're just going to go over little 1.04 patch notes. It's going to be a super small video. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time, so I just want to give like a brief run through of what I think is just like the most important things and the most important thing for the impact of the game going forward. So yeah, starting off right off the rip, pretty much going into additional elements added. The rotating camera feature, the auto rotating camera feature on and off is really nice, especially on mouse and keyboard. Just being able to strafe left and right and then not have to, because if you're strafing left and right and you didn't have and you don't have this, you pretty much like would just go in a semicircle from starting out from your initial point whenever you started strafing. So that was kind of annoying. So this is nice. So it just makes it nice and flat. It's a lot more just makes more sense. And then going on into the fun stuff, we got changes to Colossal Weapons, increasing their attack speed and the recovery time after you after you swing the weapon itself. So overall, this is going to result in just better sustain and better DPS, which is very, very nice. And then pretty much it doesn't apply to jump attacks, which makes sense. Jump attacks are already very strong. This is pretty much, that was the play style that a vast majority of people utilizing these weapons were doing. Or just, I'm sure you've seen it, like the one-shot cheese strategies with just doing a whole bunch of self buffs and then just going and jump attacking and then just doing a, colossal amount of damage. Which in and of itself is fun, but I think this is going to add a little bit more variety to the play style itself. And then in this section, the only thing, another big noticeable change is going to be the scaling of status effect buildups with the Albaneric staff and then the Dragon Communion seal. So this stuff like Rot and Bleed, which it needed to be scaled for sure. Rot especially is very, very strong. And then obviously with Bleed from like Swarm of Flies, stuff like that. So the decrease on the scaling effect of the status buildup is going to be, I think it's a necessary change. Whereas, it was a little overtuned, so now bringing it back. So hopefully they didn't, absolutely dumpster this. It's going to be just as viable. Just not as carry worthy. And then going down, and then big things. Whenever you load into the game, make sure I would just unequip everything that you have, so just get naked and then put everything back on, and then all these things should be implemented because players will need to perform any of the following actions for the changes to be reflected. This is required only once. New characters created after the update will not require this action, so obviously if you make a new character, you don't need to do this. But yeah, only once. I pretty much loaded into the game, I just got naked and put everything back on, and then the changes were implemented. So that was about it. And then huge changes here. This is the brunt of it, is pretty much there's some stuff down here with the weapon skills, but pretty much weapon skills and sourcing incantations, they're roughly getting, obviously not a rework, but it's, they're getting quality of life in terms of the fluidity of gameplay. So you're going to see one of four things of the major changes in themselves with an individual spell, or just an assortment of spells. Is you're going to see a faster cast speed, decreased recovery time, increased stamina cost, and decreased stamina cost and decreased FP cost. That's majority of what you're going to see. So you're going to see overall it's going to be faster cast. You're going to be able to dodge a roll quicker or attack or do a successive attack after you do a spell, and then obviously the lower cost to FP and stamina is going to make it so that way you can continue the string of events for more combos depending on what you are using. So overall, great change. This is the main reason why I didn't really have like a straight up incantation build or straight up sorcery build. I kind of would use them where like opportunity struck, because you just get caught in an animation, or you couldn't dodge roll out quick enough, and it's super annoying, especially you're going to get punished, especially if you're locked down in a spell, incantation, or even a weapon art itself. So I'm not going to go through each and every single individual one of these. I'll reflect some things based on like what I'm playing with right now. So I'm doing like a Sith Lord build, so I'm using like Ancient Dragon Lightning, so like Red Lightning, and a katana. So nothing really changed with the katana itself, and I'm using the Rivers of Blood because I have not used it, so we're just going to be using that for one of our New Game Plus Plus playthroughs at level 150. But one ability I wasn't using was Fortisac's Lightning Spear, and this is one that's being changed. But as you can see, it decreases FP and stamina cost, but increase cast speed and decrease recovery time. So overall, faster, and less resources to use this. Also allows caster, this is the big one, allows caster to withstand enemy attack while casting more easily. This is huge. I didn't use this because literally every single time you went to go cast it and you were against the enemy and it hit you, you just get knocked down and you literally could not use it. It was ridiculous. So this now allows you, now when you first cast it, you'll kind of bend your knees and you'll jump into the air and float there to throw down your spears. You kind of get like this hyper armor effect whenever you're up. I'm sure if you get hit with like a really strong attack, unless you have really high poise, you're still going to get knocked out of it. But it's definitely against like when you pull multiple enemies and you jump into the air and you get hit multiple times, you know the difference. So I've tested that. So that's a really nice one. Also, Black Blade I'm using, decreased stamina consumption, which was huge. I mean, I had 25 invested into my endurance, and whenever I would cast a single Black Blade, it would be literally half my bar, and you can only do 2 anyways in succession. It allows you to do 2, and it will do like, you know, that the stringed effect for that, and then at the end of the second cast, you'll be stuck there for a second, which is now better with the decreased recovery time. And then the decreased stamina, this is a lot nicer too. Not major, but enough to where I can now do 2 cast and then either like a weapon swing or dodge roll out, because before I could literally do 2 Black Blades and not even be able to dodge roll. So this is huge for that. So nice quality there, and those are just, you know, pertaining to my build in particular that I'm using. So yeah, but just to give you like an idea of like where my head's at with this, is just going to apply to other things. You know, obviously a decrease to a resource cost is going to allow you to do more of it, right? So that's just going to apply to everything that you see here on this list. So feel free, link in description, by the way, for the patch notes themselves. Or you can literally just type in on Google Elden Ring patch notes, and you'll pretty much be straight up be like the first thing you click. And then what else is worth noting? And then yeah, weapon skills, the same thing. Pretty much this would just be a reiteration of what I just said, but everything that you see here is pretty much going to get one of the 4 major things that we went over. So very nice. And then some things like have like some little added stuff, like with whatever animations they did too, but not a whole lot, and not worth me honestly for the sake of time going over. And I want to wrap this up real quick, just I don't want to take too much of you guys' time. And then with the bug fixes, the biggest thing that's going to change is the carrying retaliation. Yeah, and if you've been doing PvP, you know, people using carrying retaliation on their little glintstone stuff, or casting a spell and then kind of like cheesing their way to just one-shot you. So that's nice, a nice major change. And besides that, you know, like, I mean, there's like some like changes here and there with some status effects and whatnot, but I mean, overall, it's not, from what I've seen, a lot of things besides like the casting stuff themselves, especially with certain spells, most stuff is like marginal. So it's not going to be like groundbreaking. You know, your build's not going to be completely useless unless you were using exploits. So, you know, I wouldn't be worried too much about that. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Please like and subscribe if you learned anything new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.